this team? What is this team?
Huh?
So I've never seen it before.
Oh.
Oh my
Your
god.
team's really unique too. It's
Okay, go.
It's pretty interesting.
Hey, hello everybody. We are back here today with our treasure hunt 8, right? With the regulation E, right?
Yeah, I think
So, huh?
Oh, it's official.
8, right?
It's
Yeah,
8.
treasure
Yeah.
hunt, yeah. Well,
But
yes.
our hot guy, Mr. Nimat, is
Mr.
not
Lima is
here.
busy, yeah.
Okay, today we are men in white. Myself, Hakim, and
Yes.
then oh crap, we have to swap around, but it's okay.
But it's okay, yeah. We are all the same,
Yeah, we are all the
one
same.
community,
Mhm.
right? So Hakim, today, right, we'll be casting our first game of the day, right? Daanvir versus Matthias, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Daanvir actually pretty. I'll still say that he's still pretty new to our community, right? Still quite fresh, right? But he has accomplished quite a lot in his short tenure here in our community and represented us in Worlds this year, day one, right in August.
So I mean, nothing to scoff about. 2 times, twice in a row, he's represented Singapore at the world stage. Both times as a runner-up in nationals, losing to Melvin. So nothing to, you know. I mean, yeah, nothing to scoff at. So now here we go. And Matthias, wow, he also has his accomplishments. At IC level, at seniors levels, represented Singapore multiple times at world stage. So this is a match that we are looking forward to.
Alright, yeah, 2 players of a very high caliber, high skill caliber here today, right? Especially since I mean, regulation E has been in for about what 2 weeks since the start of October, right? So actually, players have some time to actually experiment, you know, and to find out like what suits them for this meta.
We should
Right?
take that
So
wheel.
right, Hakim, I would say that, you know, one of the new toys
The wheel
is
should select
Ogre
our
Pawn,
own.
right? Which is I would
The
say
viewer should select our-
really everyone has been like it's over centralizing the meta, kind of. Yeah, everyone is trying because especially it has three different forms, right? So what can we say about Ogre Pawn, Hakim?
Okay, so Ogre Pawn, firstly there's not only the different typings, and there's also the abilities, Mold Breaker for the fire type, then there's the Water Absorb for the water type, and then there's the Defiant for the rock type, if I'm not wrong. So
Rock type is the
Rock touch to
Grass
sorry,
is the
grass is the
Defiant,
Defiant.
yeah.
Sorry, thanks. Yeah, so it's actually 4 types. So each, I believe, slowly having its own niche. So although all Ogre Pawn in itself has the Follow Me ability, but for the water type, that's the one where people are looking more of a support set. So not only is it a supportive mon, but because of its high base stats, right, the attacking stat, you know, it can just hit damage right off.
Alright.
So and Spiky Shield is really good.
It's an improved version of
yeah,
Protect,
so,
basically.
yeah, one thing that we have to take note of this meta is that it's really physical centric. So Spiky Shield is really good. So either break Pokemon Sash, or you know, you chip that small damage, then all the cards go out of the way, and then you can take KOs.
Definitely, I think it's very significant, right? Especially like you mentioned, right? People are favoring the Water Ogre Pawn,
Yeah.
right, as a support mon due to its very good defensive typing,
Mhm.
right? And also provided that it has a very good ability in Water Absorb, right?
Mhm.
Which just straight up mitigates water type moves, right? Like
Yeah,
threats by
Urshifu.
Urshifu, yeah, Chosen Strike Urshifu can't touch it at all.
Mhm.
Yeah, and especially after the Terra, it also gets the special defense boost, right? That handles things like Fluttermane in the meta, or even Chiyu to a certain extent in that aspect.
Yeah. So I mean, although the Terra typing is rather one-dimensional for them,
Can go?
Yeah.
Ogre Pawn, yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, here we take a look at the Matthias team. He has Iron Hands, Fluttermane, Chen Pao, Heatran, then the Styrian, and of course, as we were talking about, Ogre Pawn, Wellspring, which is the water type.
Yeah, and for Daanvir is carrying the team of Fluttermane, Iron Hands, Heatran. No, that one is in the same team actually.
Yeah, looks the
Yeah,
same.
actually it's
It's a mirror match.
yeah, it's a mirror match actually.
Yeah, so it just
Yeah.
you know swap around the Pokemon sequence. You know?
Yeah, actually
So-
it's the same 6. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a mirror here, right? So as I think there was a nationals yesterday, was it, or like a big event yesterday?
Yeah, I think it's ongoing for regionals, right?
Yeah.
At the US side.
Correct, yeah, it's a regionals, right? So like stats have shown that, you know, the like Fluttermane, Iron Hands, and Dangerous, right, is 50% in usage, and as we can see here from our players today, yeah, both of them have the same exact 3 mons.
50%
team
of
also.
the team, 3 of the 50% of the team makes up 50% of the team. So yeah, it's a very meta team here. So no apparent speed control, maybe aside from the IC win on Fluttermin, on Matthias end, and what about Daanvir?
Honestly, I think it looks like it's the exact same team.
I think
Honestly.
Daanvir is choice specs Fluttermin. So yeah, there's these small differences that may prove to be the difference when we go into this battle.
Yeah. So this will be the first set from Matthias and Daanvir, right? From our treasure hunt 8 or treasure hunt what today.
What
Skate.
here?
Yeah, very what, right? So yes, leading off Daanvir, we are watching from Daanvir's end, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So from Daanvir's end, Iron Hands and Landerers, right? On Matthias end, Fluttermin and Landerers, right? So both players choosing to exchange Intimidate here, but I think Matthias here have the advantage as Fluttermin is not that affected by the stat drop from the Intimidate.
And also we take note here that Matthias has the IC win, which also pose a threat to Landerers. But Landerers over here, terrestrializing with Terra flying can OHKO Fluttermin, of course with the Intimidate drop, then that may be the difference right now.
Definitely. Right. So of course, right, I think the Fluttermin has to fear the heavy slam that's coming off from the Iron Hands also. Even though -1, right, you wouldn't want your Fluttermin to take so much chip in this scenario.
But yeah, Fluttermin with the speed control, I think it's a good lead by Matthias, immune to the fake out now. He also has to protect, he always scout out. Okay, so Daanvir withdrawing, Landerers preserving the Intimidate.
Yeah, and also, keeping it safe from the potential IC win, right? Ogre does hit the field here.
Okay, going for the protect. Let's see, Daanvir's
Went for the fake out here.
Okay.
Yeah. So a very safe play from both players, right? Daanvir choosing to preserve the Intimidate, knowing that it will be key going against the physical attackers that Matthias will have at the back, right? And of course, Matthias recognizing the threat that the Iron Hand pose with the heavy stand, opt to go for the protect instead. But right now, with the protect burnt, is it still wise for him to stay in?
Yeah, and I mean, right now we need depends on the 4th mon, right, of Matthias. It's still a guessing game from Daanvir. I mean, I don't think it's necessary for Matthias to switch into the Landerers to intimidate anymore. But yeah, Ogre I base attack stat, IV cut gel into any of the slot, it will take a lot of damage.
It will still take a good chip there.
So let's see, okay.
Yeah.
Landerers, let's see what Daanvir does. It call, because it's a safe play to just hit the Fluttermin.
Yeah, especially double targeting into the Fluttermin slot is very free, right? But of course, the fake out does check the Ogre Pawn, like preventing it from getting off an IV cudgel.
Yeah, so that's well played from both players. So Matthias knowing that he has to preserve the Fluttermin, bringing in the Iron Hands to ensure that it's a safe switch out for anything coming into the Fluttermin slot. So now let's see here. Well, there's no pivoting option in Vote switch from
both ends actually.
Both ends,
right. So they will just have to switch, normal switch, no vote, only normal switch out.
Yeah, no slow pivoting, to scout out what the opponent has switched in. But yeah, over here intimidate. So it's really so spiky shield, prevent the U-turn.
Yeah.
Daanvir calling it.
Calling the Lando switch in here, opting to Matthias opting to switch out here using the U-turn to pivot off the field, right, preserving the Intimidate. Like, honestly, both players at this point realize that actually keeping the Intimidate up, cycling the Intimidate is actually the key to actually getting the upper hand in this current matchup here.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that this kind of iteration is where you are finding the best position to hit off that big damage and take off the KO, and then slowly get using the momentum to because once the pivoting option is down, right, that is where okay, he is stuck there, or if he switched in, it's a free hit into that slot. So like over here we know that there are some mons we got protect, like Iron Hands. For Daanvir's end, it's a choice specs Fluttermin. So these are mons we got protect. So it's really important that they find the right position to hit off and take out the KO.
Definitely.
Ensure that the opponent doesn't revenge KO them, and then that's where it becomes trouble.
For sure, right? Like you mentioned, it's really a matter of attrition here, the positioning of the board state, right? And also how much chip you want to take on your mons, right? It's like even though just now the -2 Iron Hands from Daanvir's side, the heavy slam still did quite a bit to Matthias' Landerers, right? So Matthias opt for the spiky shoe here. Daanvir responds properly with the U-turn into the iron hands instead.
Yeah, it's always of course you want to hit the super effective damage onto Ogre Pawn, but yeah, if you fail to U-turn out and you being stuck there, that's where it will be a problem.
Correct.
So these players, they know that U-turning out onto the pawn without the protect is the safest play.
Correct. Yeah. One, you get a guarantee U-turn off. That's one. Then you get to pivot, especially in the sense of spiky shield, you won't get a chip in that aspect also.
Yeah. So because now we have the mirror. It's like is this turn one? Is this turn one? Yeah. We have the follow me. And fake out from both mons. So really all the tools are out there. All the bulky mons, each side, if they switch into Avicut Gel with the water absorb, both still preserving their terra typing. So it's really about, like you said, positioning to fire off that move.
Yeah,
to get the KO, and then they will move on from there.
It's really very how to say, it's very beautiful to see how players play from here, especially in the mirror match, and of two players of high skill caliber. Like there's so much factors to actually think about, right? As we can see here, the double targeting into the Ogre Pawn here from Daanvir's side actually chip Matthias's Ogre Pawn all the way to close to half already at this point, right? Or even like he chose that because there's no protect, and if he were to choose to switch into the Landerers will take too much chip, and then will prevent Matthias from cycling the Intimidate.
So yeah, because I think one thing we have to take note is there's really the lack of immediate speed control in terms of like tailwind to really put off the pressure from the start. So that's why the players are playing as such, positioning well, being able to burn the opponent's protect, force them to even double protect with a fake out. So right now what we see, Daanvir revealing the flutter main. Yes. And that is really a full out mirror in this matchup.
Alright, it's four of the same mons all together actually. Right. So Matthias does switch in his own Landerers, right, to get off the Intimidate to prevent Iron Hands from dealing as much damage as he can. Right. But I think at this point, Daanvir does a very good switch here, getting Fluttermane here essentially in for free.
So that Intimidate really proving pivotal, with the wild charge, not taking out the Ogre Pawn. So Ogre Pawn now is able to do a follow me. Sometimes a free knockout might be beneficial to Matthias. So I think Daanvir has to be careful.
Yeah, but the thing is that I think this turn will be the turn that Daanvir takes the lead here, right? Because a very free switch in from Daanvir's side with the Intimidate, right? Terra flying, Terra Blast wouldn't kill his Fluttermane.
Knowing that his choice specs, there's slightly more bulk invested into Fluttermane, that would be my guess. These are because now that you know all the meta, right?
The common EV spreads out there, right?
So
like
players will know that okay, I need to be able to take this damage at either -1 or whatsoever. So let's see now. I think this is the turn where all the big damage.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, this is the pivotal turn already, right? After all the positioning, everything. Yeah, this is the turn that the bot state will move drastically.
So yeah, although Daanvir has the speed advantage in the choice scarf. Yeah. So let's see.
So we do see the Terra from Matthias side of the field, right? Terra flying.
Oh, the big damage coming off.
Yep. But is it enough to kill?
It's quite obvious because what Daanvir had on the field just now was 2 mons without protect. So it should be the Terra flying, Terra Blast into the Fluttermane from Matthias side onto Daanvir. So Daanvir with the spread move of Dazzling Gleam with the so
spiky shield here, right? So preserving the Ogre Pawn here, right? Terra Blast coming out. Is it enough? Right, it isn't, right? Like as we discussed earlier, as you mentioned, right? Choice specs is actually choice spec mains they tend to be more bulky in that aspect. After -1, it's more or less guaranteed to survive.
That was that's where the KO comes. So we got the spiky shield. Matthias will have been in deep trouble with 2 mons down.
But the thing is that I want to commend Daanvir here that he really brought in the Fluttermane in a very very good timing where he knew that nothing much can actually hurt that switching here, because one, Matthias might predict the spiky shield from Ogre Pawn, right? So Matthias had to make a call, and I think he made Daanvir make the better decision.
So this is the important factor. We see that the intimidate coming from behind, you know, because Matthias showed the Landerers in first, but then Daanvir calling it, you know, bringing it out, having able to see the Landerers out on the field first, and being able to come in and intimidate it so that the Flattermen survive, and for Flattermen to hit off the damage. Because like we mentioned, there's really no speed control, and Matthias having, you know, having used up his boosted energy. So that is where there's for the choice scout Landerers, that's where he is gonna fire off first. So like as we see here, Daanvir having the upper hand with the Landerers.
Definitely, right. So actually from here, the ball state is currently in Daanvir's favor, right? The like you mentioned, no speed control. That means Landerers will be the fastest thing on the field for the rest of the game.
So over here, no, this is where the mind games is, right? There's no the Terra was used on the Flattermen, so Ogopon will sustain its water absorb.
Yep.
So Matthias didn't want a free recovery on the Ogopon, so he went for the safer option of
Horn Leech, right? Even though it's neutral, right? But you know it's better off to still get some damage, better than none.
Of course, Matthias now on the back foot, he has to make some moves to, you know, get back the momentum from his side, because without the Landerers, there's now Daanvir just have to, you know, reset the attack drops, bring it back in, and just fire off the
just cycle, just cycle and intimidate. But honestly, it feels a bit difficult because of the Iron Hands, right? Iron Hands has a clear way of one-shotting Matthias' Flattermen, and at this point, Ogopon is not doing as much. You know, it's not contributing as much. You know, at most, it's just follow me at this point.
So, Heavy Sun coming out. Yeah. So over here again, the mirror comes back out, but there's Matthias having lost the Landerers. Actually, Daanvir could even just fire off the Ivy Cut Gel, fire off Drain Punch, even just a Honley, slowly get back the recovery. Even in this position, he can bring back in the Landerers, give the attack drop onto Matthias and just preserving.
Right, so it's actually, it's back to the matter of attrition here, right? But obviously, Daanvir is having the upper hand here because losing a very key pivotal Landerers really hurts Matthias, right? Matthias has no way of controlling both of Daanvir's physical attackers on the field right now, right? A very free round charger into the Ogopon, and Ogopon goes down.
So there's a 4-2 lead here by Daanvir. And so the thing about mirrors for all these players, right? They have to understand their speed tier. So like over here, we've seen that Matthias Iron Hands is faster than Daanvir. Is it a speed tie? Likely not. So
maybe no.
Maybe.
Actually.
Yeah, it could be. So I think for the viewers out there, you know, we know the answer, but from what we have seen,
actually we can tell, right?
Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah,
From the last turn, it looks like
Matthias one is faster actually.
So all this information is important to game 2 for Matthias for both players. For Daanvir to, he has to close the game off now. Even as you, the thing about VDC is as you go into the game, you try to get as many information.
Does Matthias double target into the Iron Hand? Oh, he doesn't. He was expecting the IC win to kill, but he didn't. Was it a low roll? Probably not. But oh my god, the heavy slams coming out here. Flattermen goes down. That might be a slight misplay there. I think Matthias was trying to catch the Landerers switching there, but it just proves that Iron Hands has too much HP, has too much bulk. What a disgusting Pokemon.
50% usage, number 1 right now, until some tiger or lion comes back.
Let's hope he doesn't. but yes, it really goes to show that Matthias was really calling the switch and was hoping that the ICV will be enough. But there's a reason why Iron Hands is so high on the tier. It's the first, it's number 1 usage, right? Just because of its disgustingly big HP. Oh my god.
So you know, with he has a low special defense, but that's where the assault vest comes in. So you invest your EVs correctly. You know, it's already naturally high HP, so there's not much that you need to invest in there. Overall, very difficult to take it down. So that's where all this iteration of intimidate is really important to, you know, stop things like Ogre Pawn from one-shotting it, then even our opponent Landerers from one-shotting it because of the
like
step.
blast, correct, the super step there blast. Yeah, I think something to know about intimidate here is also it also controls Ogre Pawn's recovery. Yeah, also Iron Hand's recovery in the form of Drain Punch and Horn Leech, right? So intimidate is really the key you know, the key player here, right? Which also justify why Landerers is third on the usage charts.
Yeah,
right?
I mean Landerers looks like the natural counter to Iron Hands because of the ground weakness.
Tantrum,
Yeah.
right?
Then also being the ground type, you know, electric moves can't hit it. So naturally, that's the reason why I believe Landerers is now high up in the tier. Then of course with Ogre Pawn, so you know you can drop all these physical attackers.
Right.
Yeah, but that's where we see some. I mean, of course we don't see it here, but there is where we see like Defiant Mons coming into play in game beam.
Yeah.
But of course we have to take a look here. Like Chen Pao also is a good counter to Landerers.
Yeah.
Then with his Sword of Ruin ability, so it technically negates that attack drop because it already gives the defense drop, right?
Correct.
So
yeah, it's basically another form of it's kind of another form of like a boost, you know, it's like a boost here, right? So we do see the Landerers and Iron Hands lead from the Matthias side of the field, and also Iron Hand hit ran from from
So
Daanvir
Daanvir
instead.
changed it up, you know. So what did he leave behind? There's something for us to find out in this game.
My guess, I wanted to say my guess was the Fluttermate, and I was right, because in the sense you don't need two special attackers, right? The hit ran is the substitute, right? And also, if you think about it, in terms of the matchup, it's actually kind of better in a way, right? Because if Matthias choose to bring the same exact for hit ran just storms Fluttermate.
Yep, the natural you know, typing that it helps. You know, the IC Wind not gonna do much. Moonblast not gonna
is
do much.
quad resist. The only thing is Shadow Ball.
Yeah, Hitran is a very bulky Pokemon on its own, so
Yeah, but a good switch here from Daanvir, right? Recognizing that actually both the Iron Hands and the Landerers threatened the hit ran, right? And choosing to switch out here, and Daanvir also choosing out to switch out his own Iron Hands to get in the Landerers to get off the Intimidate.
yeah. So if Matthias decided to go all in to
Terra flying, let's go!
Yeah, so if he decides, so this is where you know, Daanvir deserving the Intimidate from the back. So you know, some players like to lead Intimidate from the front, you know, calling the aggressive lead from opponents, but on this end, Daanvir seems to be the player where, okay, let me see what you put out there, and I'm going to you know, play the iteration game and slow you down from there.
I think Matthias does get the higher value turn here, right? Because Daanvir forcing to double switch in that scenario, right? Matthias has the control of the board state with that pivoting move here. So you see right now with the Fluttermane on the field with the booster energy, actually is the fastest thing on the field, outspeeding even the Landerers, threatening it with IC Wind.
I think maybe Matthias learned from the game 1, right? Because he let off with Fluttermane, and you know, he protected turn 1, then he saw, my Fluttermane is threatened, switching out, so the booster energy didn't do
was
much.
wasted, right? So it's better to keep it in the back pocket. I think what will really snowball Matthias' position, right, is calling which slot is the hit ran switching in.
Yeah, that's
right,
true.
with a Drain Punch from the Iron Hands. Which slot is it? If Matthias calls it correctly, right, wow, he will be in a very good position.
Yeah, so he has to make use of this speed advantage, right, from Fluttermane, because once he managed to deal off all this damage, that's where all of his other mons are able to, you know, just pick up the KO.
Correct. Right. So does he dream? Okay, we see the IC Wind first, right? So good switch there on Daanvir's. But does the Dream Punch go into the hit ran? Daanvir game 1. He does. He called the switch. Fantastic. Right. So I think it was a very good good read there. Right. Ogre Pawn does have the spiky shield there. You don't want to risk it. Right. And Landerers can't afford to stay in at all. So yeah, it was a very decent read there on Matthias' end. Right. So right now, how will Matthias react to the current board state?
Okay, so over here, as we can see, right, the damage output from Iron Hands didn't do much to the hit trend. So now Daanvir has the I mean, there's a double up, potential double up, but also Matthias has to know his Fatami is also now tracking because
Yeah, by the event.
he trained, no? Okay, so he went for the safe play, but does Daanvir call it?
Right, so follow me does comes out here, so you will redirect the dream punch or even a wild charge here from the iron hands, right? So the dream punch coming out.
So the so now it's interesting to know the IC win was enough for iron hands to be faster than the trend.
Yeah.
He trained for heat wave, so let's see.
Now of course iron hands take it like a champ, no burn please.
Yeah.
Oh, also a thing to know is the hit rate is actually on the life offset, so actually it in itself has a timer. Right, and especially after you pointed out that after the IC win, iron hand is faster. Ogre is forced to follow me again.
So sometimes with these naturally bulky mons, right? Sometimes the amount of damage that you hit off with your life object, it might not be worthwhile, you know.
Yeah. So I think even
it
survived
that's
one.
Okay, that is big.
Was it a roll?
That is big.
That is big. Right. So does the flash cannon kill? I don't think so, right? But life orb though, does it?
Yeah,
and it
kills.
does. It does kill there.
Man. That's really unfortunate. I mean, it will be great for one exchange, right? Then because if Matthias has overpawn from the back, then that's where it will be safe for him to just click Ivy Cudgel to any slot already. Because there's no water absorb, Sportation switch in to absorb. So yeah, this is another turn where, you know, like game 1 it was an IC win, don't know, low roll, or you know, he missed out on the
the kill on the iron hands, right? And now now it's the drain punch and missed the kill on the ogre pawn, right? So I feel that not all hope is lost yet, right? Even though you have lost your speed control option here, right? But both ogre pawn and event is very very cheap already at this point. And you know what Landerus is at the back, right? And then you have the answer in which it's the ogre pawn here, because Ivy Cudgel is more or less a 2-hit KO without intimidate.
Yeah, I think for Matthias, I think the IC win play over here might be helpful for him because he knows that his iron hands is faster than heat trend. So let's see, ogre pawn, was it dropped by -1, but instead Daanvir went for the switch in.
Let us switch in the Landerus, so iron hands is currently at minus. Is it -2 or -3? I think it's -2. Yeah, it's -2. Yeah, and Matthias ogre pawn is -1, right? So the Terra does come out here onto Daanvir's hit rank here, Terra into Terra Grass, right, to mitigate the Ivy Cudgel from here, and also to take potentially another dream punch here.
I think it's Daanvir didn't want to make any switches because it could be trouble, right? If
I think the crit actually built him up there. The crit built him up on that, like taking off the hit right there.
So this is where players have to decide whether it's worth just letting the mon out in play go down and having a free switching instead. Yeah, but Daanvir have burned his Terra now.
Actually, I think Daanvir that was a very good Terra. I think really Matthias got built up by the crit over there, because I'm quite sure that without the crit, the dream punch would have killed.
True. Yeah, because the -1 horn leech and then
-2 dream punch, right? So I think right now I think it's a very safe switch in for Matthias's Landerus to come in now, right, to get off the intimidate and reset the iron hand more importantly. And of course the spiky shield is on the field, so not so free U-turn from the Lando, and no free fake outs from Daanvir's iron hands.
Yeah, I think something to take note of is both special attackers from both down, right? So now really
now we are back to the battle of attrition again.
Landerus is king. We still have the fake out and the positioning play by U-turn and the intimidate. So, but Matthias has the upper hand here because of the ogre pawn, just a fake out away from
or even what do you call that? Spiky shield chip damage, right? Yeah, so actually a very good double target into the Lando here on Daanvir's side of the field, right? So, I think it's still a very iffy position for both players because, as you mentioned, right, Landerus is king, and the Landerus with the more HP will be winning, right? So Matthias Landerus is actually a bit cheap from from last turn.
But yeah, over here as I think Matthias has Terra, right?
Yeah, Matthias still have Terra, correct. Yeah. Oh, but Daanvir chose
there,
to forfeit.
okay.
Interesting.
Maybe he saw ahead that maybe doesn't want to play to timer because
Probably,
he could.
I think if they were to play to timer, Matthias would win.
Yes.
Right, because Matthias has the more advantage. Right.
Yeah. So something that such mirrors with all this iteration of intimidate and take out, right? It's a very draining game.
Yeah, it really is.
The game can go on until the full
duration,
15 minutes,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes players want to conserve their energy and just because Daanvir has the game up. So maybe to him it's like, okay, let's not drag this on.
Correct. Let's save the mental battle for the last game, right? Because especially now he's not in such a favorable position, right?
But I think maybe something that Daanvir took away from that is that my hit trend at -1 it's so slow.
Yeah, correct. Slower than Iron Hands.
So how fast did Matthias build his Iron Hands, right?
Definitely.
So let's see if he still bring his hit trend because his Fatami did that one turn of big damage really gave him the momentum for the game one.
Game one, right. And yes, I think like through the game 2, Matthias also realized that I really need to preserve my booster energy Flatterman. It's the only check I have against the Lenderers. It's the only leverage I have, and I really need to preserve it. I need to get it onto the board properly, right?
So yeah, the thing that Daanvir has is the heavy slam, right, on the
on Iron Hands,
which really checks Matthias Flatterman. So he has to be very wary of when he positions the Flatterman.
Correct. Especially like Matthias does have answer for that heavy slam also in the option of follow me Ogre Pond water, right? Because the water resists. It does resist the heavy slam. So actually, it will be a very interesting game 3. Like game 1, Daanvir found his win con. Right? Game 2, Matthias found his win con. Right? So both players are working towards different what do you call this? Different objectives.
Yes,
right? Even though it's the same six mods, but very different play style.
Like Daanvir, but the thing what we saw was Flatterman being the main key component for each team's victory for game 1 and game 2 respectively.
Definitely.
So we see the same lead for Matthias.
Right. Oh, very differently from Daanvir's side on the field.
So what this leads show me is okay, it's not a free follow me because of the potential fake out.
Yeah.
Daanvir is choice spec, so
correct. So that the Lando switching here is actually very
telegraphed.
Very obvious here actually. But how does Matthias respond? That's the question. Does the fake out go into the Flatterman? That's the thing. Do you call the turn 1 Terra?
Yes, correct. Because sometimes such aggressive leads, right, force the player to I am committed to this. I have to go.
Correct. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Very exciting turn 1. Let's see. Right. Ogre Pond switches out here into the Lenderers, right, to mitigate the Terra flying Terra blast from Matthias's Lenderers.
Matthias is, with my experience of Matthias is very ballsy.
Yes,
very ballsy when he's because good players know when to be safe and know that okay, this is the situation. I have to go commit it all in. Because sometimes you don't want to regret not going for that.
Correct, right? And the momentum, this turn 1, really, it's the momentum swing play. No more battle of attrition. No more.
We see a KO here.
Yeah, all in. Okay, fake out. Oh. Okay. No, it's still the okay play, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because no Terra Fairy means the Flatterman is not gonna kill.
Yeah.
Right, Moonblast coming out here into the end. Oh, very big chip.
Yeah. I think Daanvir was just afraid of Matthias potentially calling that Terra Fairy, right?
Yeah.
Then he picking
I think both players got what they wanted.
Yes.
In this exchange, right? Big chip onto both very key key mons on each other's team.
Yeah. So for Matthias now having committed to the Terra flying, this gives Daanvir's Iron Hands now more leverage on the game.
Correct.
Because he can just freely wild charge into any slot right now.
Definitely, right. And also, without the ground
resist.
Without the ground resist, right. The Lenderer is not as a defensive switching as it was before.
So maybe Matthias' game plan is like, okay, I have to use Lenderers as my offensive. So he's really hitting off damage again.
Terra Blast does come out here onto the Iron Hands.
Oh, that's it.
Does Daanvir
Okay.
U-turn? Yeah, he does U-turn here. Okay, so what does Iron Hands do? Do here, right? Does it get off a Drain Punch or does it get off a big wild charge onto whatever that's coming in, which is either the Ogre Pawn or the Flutter Mane?
Yeah, so because
Okay, do we see the wild charge here?
Oh,
Now
right.
we see the wild charge
Yeah.
here. Oh, Drain
Oh,
Punch,
okay,
okay, safe play,
safe
safe play, safe play. Wow, very exciting game 3 right here. So Iron Hands does regain back a bit health here.
I think
right?
over there was like that mind games, it's like, oh, Matthias thought maybe my Iron Hands can go down here because it can just be a free stopping tantrum.
Correct.
for
Yeah, then I get a
Daanvir.
free switch in
Yeah.
right into my booster energy, into my booster energy Flutter Mane.
Yeah. Then but for Daanvir maybe you call that I don't want to give that free switching, right?
correct.
So instead let me play it out. Then since the rest okay, but Matthias now switch out.
I might not necessarily agree with that play because you might lose a bit of momentum there. But yeah, so we do see the Terra. Coming out here. Probably the Terra Fairy, right from Flutter Mane.
But I think he just switch in his Iron Hands. He can fake out here.
Yeah, I think probably Matthias really. I think yeah, it forces the fake out onto the Ogre Pawn slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep, this.
correct. Once Matthias's Iron Hand go down, Matthias get a free switch into whatever he wants. Oh my god, wow, the
Yeah, I
Flutter
think
Mane
that's
barely
a-
surviving.
Yep. So Daanvir going back to his game 1 plan in a sense where Flutter Mane being the main damage
Yeah, correct, the bomb,
dealer.
basically, yeah.
being the bomb. So Flutter Mane has taken out 1 mon and deal tons of damage to Ogre Pawn. So Ogre Pawn is like in the range of a Drain Punch it should be. But now Daanvir has to be wary because it's a free switching to probably the Landerers who can just hit off with a Terra Blast. And yes, although Landerers can come in to intimidate it, but it's within range.
Alright, and also there's the even though the Iron Hands can do a lot, right? Wild charge into the Landerers or even just heavy slam, right? But a read heavy slam, right? There's the follow me from
Yes.
Ogre Pawn. So actually a very safe target into the Flutter Mane slot here. Right? Terra flying, right? The Landerers will take big chip, right? Ogre Pawn might even die actually, right? So yeah, the momentum here is still in Matthias' side of the field.
But I think what we're seeing here is Daanvir planning to switch out, calling that his mon is probably going down, so that the next turn he can bring back in the fresh fake out. Because both mons on Matthias and can't protect, so
Correct,
that's where the
you are right.
yeah.
Alright.
So Daanvir going for that. Sometimes you have to just know that my mon has to go down here.
Correct.
So I think nowadays because Landerers getting stopping tantrum right, we don't see any more earthquake. So so we don't see the mixed set of Landerers anymore.
Yeah, correct. We don't see the slush bomb.
Yeah, no more such bomb.
So Terra Blast here coming into the Flutter
so
Mane.
yes.
Oh, but it's interestingly, Matthias actually read that switch and didn't go for the follow me. So he went for the Hot Leech instead and recovering more health. So very good, very good read there from Matthias.
Oh,
he
you
goes for
went for
Iron Hand
Kajal.
instead.
Oh.
Insane enough.
Oh,
Close,
okay,
very close.
okay. Wow. Yeah.
Fantastic play there from Matthias. Really, the momentum really just swing it. Wow, the call on the switch out on the Iron Hands really swung the momentum in his favor again.
I think for Matthias it's like, okay, I got the intimidate onto the Iron Hands, right? So he's confident that the Landerers won't go down that turn. Then he's also confident that because naturally faster, so Ogre Pawn would have hit tons, not
Correct.
say tons of damage, but
Like,
would hit
a
good
good damage.
good damage to
Iron
that
Hands.
slot.
Correct. Yeah, so now, do you call the pick up or anything? Do you go for the slower passive play or do you just outright damage, go for the damage play again?
So it's I think 3-on-3 right now.
Correct.
But with some important mons, down to its last HP, this is where sometimes players just go for a read.
Yeah, it's actually a very important read here, right? Like, does Matthias make the passive play or does a more offensive play here, right? Or does Daanvir go for the fake out? Like, does Daanvir go for fake out?
So Ogre Pawn right now coming in,
Okay,
Spiky Shield.
Matthias went with Spiky Shield, right? So do we see the Terra Blast coming out into which slot?
Okay.
Does it go into the Ogre Pawn slot?
Okay. Let's see right now.
And it went Iron Hand,
Iron
decent,
Hands
yeah, it's a
now.
decent chip.
Iron Hands. Oh,
It
went
slam,
with a slam.
it is okay, yeah. So Daanvir actually calling the Flutter Mane switch in there.
Wild Charge would have done good damage to
Fatamain also. Yeah, actually you are right. Yeah. Perhaps Daanvir was a bit greedy in that aspect. Because he wants the clean KO.
Yes, correct. That was safe. But
actually, it makes sense actually. Yeah, because the boosted energy is the only thing that checks the choice scarf Landerers that he has. Yeah, so that was his win con.
So I mean, this is where you know. But I think Matthias hasn't revealed his last one. So
haven't yet.
So it's very good on Matthias, to use 3 mons to piece around, chip damage. Then like we have been talking about all game.
Okay, it's enough. Fantastic.
So I think that last turn by Daanvir, that was the key turn where he needed to call. I think that was a call he was trying to make.
It really is.
Because it has been a game of iteration where they are preserving their intimidate so much. So they want to. Some players just I want to preserve intimidate. I want to keep bringing back in to stop. But right now, what Matthias has is that I have the speed advantage right now. So this is where. Although he's left with 2 mons, but 2 mons who are the fastest on the field and just gonna hit off damage.
And especially now, he don't even need to IC win.
Yes.
Yeah, because Landerer is so low to the point that a gleam can just pick it off. Right, and the Terra Blast, even though I'm -2, will do a big chip to focus upon. Follow me, who cares?
Yeah,
right,
who cares?
I have spread. Right. Wow, I think both players played very well this set.
It came down to just that 1 or 2 turns, right? Yeah, it came down to 1 or 2 turns. For Daanvir, he really changed up his strategy. Game 1, game 2, I was more passive at the beginning, and then I brought in my big guns. Then he decided I'm gonna go out with my big guns from the start. But Matthias being more continue on with Matthias was opposite. He started off with his big guns, then slowly he's like, okay, I'm just gonna play slow.
Play slow from there.
So there I see him play probably.
Actually, he doesn't have dazzling flame actually. So actually he was forced to IC win. So my apologies there.
He could
have game changing, but I don't think he would have a choice anyway. I don't think he would have a choice. Yeah. So a very well played set honestly. Like you mentioned, right? It's like Daanvir goes for the more it's like piece the board and then drop the bomb. Right. Whereas for Matthias it's more of like I have to keep my Fatamain safe, and I have to take advantage of how Daanvir is playing from there. So essentially Matthias reacted perfectly throughout this entire game 3 set. I would say that game 2 was really down to that creep onto the hit run. That creep really built Matthias there. But after Matthias realizing his win condition, he really played it to perfection in game 3. Like you mentioned, 3 months to set up the board for Fatamain to come in and hit.
So I think was he trend the play in that game 3? Probably because if we saw that Matthias always going to play Fatamain from behind. Right. So if the trend was
alright, then you keep your trend. You keep your trend.
The Pokemon there. I have to sweep force the Fatamain to come in, right? Then once you burn that boost energy, that's when Matthias will lose that advantage.
Correct. And as you mentioned, right, like hit run actually is a very good check against the choice card Landerers, right? Do you look at time to stomping? Or do you Terra implying calling my Terra Grass? There's a lot of mind games for both players in that situation. Which is why I feel this set is more like a final set, if you ask me. We are starting the day off very, very strong.
Very strong. I mean Brian's hand, in making the pairings.
It's like
we got a gem of the game here.
It really is.
To start it off. So
I think
look out for both players. We are right now in the Europe World Cup. Matthias
representing us, correct.
We are now in week 2. So we have secured our victory for week 2. I'm just gonna plug in there. I'm
that's right. My man over here.
I can give you an update. We may have lost week 1, but we brushed it off. Week 2 we have came back strong. So we want to best our top 8 position.
This year the goal is really to get past top 8, right? Hopefully to win. Definitely.
We believe in ourselves. As you can see, we have very promising players. So we hope to showcase more of our players to you later on today. So we're gonna take a short break. Helen, that was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Man in white.
Man in white today.
See you guys
in the next round.
Match.
by going for rock slide. While charging to
Yeah.
Daanvir.
Yeah.